we saw over the weekend the Tampa Bay Rays start Sergio Romo for the first time in his career. He's a career closer and a career setup man and a career reliever. They started him on Saturday. First major league appearance for him as a starter. And he pitched one inning against the Angels out here in California, out here in Southern California. And then he came back the next day and started the next game and faced 4 batters. And the philosophy behind this is the Angels are so right-handed hitting heavy, and their best hitters are at the top of the lineup. And I guess Ohtani was not in the lineup. So start your best right-handed pitcher when your starter isn't as good, and certainly is a lefty that these righties can mash. Start him off the top. Negotiate your way through the top of the order with this guy in what is being called, wait for it, because I looked this up. I'd never heard of this before. So again, maybe I'm out of the mix here. It's something called maximizing leverage. There's something called a medium leverage situation and something called a high leverage situation. And when you are in a tie game at any point is called a medium leverage situation. And then when you are having a 3-run lead in the 9th inning, that's a lower leverage situation than the first inning. So your best chance with your reliever is to start him in the first in a higher leverage situation than pitching with a bigger lead in the later in the game. So start him when your starter isn't all that good. What the hell's going on?
I have no idea. A lot of it, too, is, if you face a batter or the lineup the third time through, the OPS is around 800 this year. First time through, it's under 700. So you're trying to take advantage of those situations. Look, if this becomes the wave of the future, forget about ever seeing a 300-game winner ever again. We're never going to see a 200-game winner.
The rate of runs, the rate of your, well, look. They're not going to, the Nationals aren't going to do this with Max Scherzer. You could name all these top-of-the-line pitchers. But if you've got a great bullpen and you are looking at the metrics here, the rate of runs in the first inning in 2018 is 5.27 over 9 innings. That's the second highest scoring inning. That's the highest scoring inning in baseball this year. It's the first inning. How about that? Second highest scoring inning has been the 6th at 4.91 runs per inning, per 9 innings. The second inning is the lowest. So you're figuring out, let me get through the first inning with my guy, if that's a good matchup, and I'll bring my starter in the second where it's an easier matchup. Like I'd rather my starter, who's not as good, face 4, 5, 6, and 7, or 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
And then it's later where he'll go through the lineup for a third time.
Yeah, where the batters
and
are
you're pushing that back
weaker, and your pitching still strong.
And then I'll get a lead and close it out with my 2 big arms in the bullpen. And tell me, how I know what I posited before in the year, okay, from a Major League Baseball source, that you can bat whoever you want in the 9th inning, regardless of order. How much further away is that from what I'm describing right here?
Well, it seems to be the pitching equivalent in a way.
Well, no, the pitching equivalent would be you could start your closer and then bring him back in the 9th. That would be the equivalent. Is that even though you've already used him, you could bring him back whenever you damn well please. But you'd never do that with an arm anyway. But it's just like, okay, so I'm taking a look at your matchup. My first 3 matchup is this, with this pitcher who's a reliever. And then I know my starter, who's not as good, he might get mashed by those first 3. I'll bring him in against 4, 5, 6 and let him go through the lineup once or twice for 3 1/3. Now I'm in the 6th inning. I got a lead. I'll close it up with these guys. And then I've got some great arms in the minor leagues. I'll bring them up to refresh it if I need to get through a week-long period when I've got my 4 and 5 starters not nearly as good. Is that good for the game?
No. Are we getting so technical with all this stuff that it's just not fun? This can't be fun to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Or are we just old? And this is the way it's going to be. And get used to it, traditionalists.
But if
with your shifts, you're going to bring in you're going to shift one way and then bring in a guy who's a specialist in the first inning.
First inning?
Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what happened with the Tampa Bay Rays over the weekend here in Southern California. Now, the Angels, it would be helpful if they got some left-handed hitters to just say, you can't do that against us. But they're looking at the metrics and looking at the books, using their slide rules and figuring it out.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.